Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. Now today we're working with some hero arts and we have got the Coney Club collection and it is super fun. So let's walk through what we've got here. We have got the hot dog stamp and cut, and we've got 3 different dogs on here. One that is in a hot dog bun, one that can wear a sweater, and the other one's waggling the tail. We've got a plain hot dog. We've got the sentiments hot dog. It's your birthday, hot diggity dog. Frank so much. Live long and wag on and happy birthday. We have a balloon, a squeeze bottle, a party hat. Super, super fun, and we've got the coordinating dies. In addition to that, I've got the stamp set called Many Franks, and this is really fun. We condiment each other, have a wonderful day. Frankly, you're great. Let's catch up soon. You're bun of a kind. I mustard mitt. You're the best. You're the top dog. You're wienerful. Beautiful together. It's your birthday. You're the bun for me. Sup dog, Many Franks, and a few more. I've also got the squeeze bottle die set, and that's what this is here. And you've got hot dog sentiment, you have got love you, and you've got thanks. And those are the sentiments with the squeeze bottle. You can do ketchup, mustard, whatever you want to do with that. And then we've got the hot diggity dog die set. And this makes a big old hot dog on a bun with all of the embellishments that you'd like to add to your hot dog. And you've got the little boat that you put the bun in. So I think you can even have sauerkraut. There's little dies for onions and I think sauerkraut. You've got the grill marks for the hot dog, and you've also got your ketchup and mustard. And then we have got a stencil that is called Cookout Layering Stencil, and we're going to get to work with it right now. So I'm going to pull it out, and we're going to do some stenciling and create a background panel for one of our cards. And as soon as I get this out of the package. So it's just 2 layers, and it's basically just straight lines. There is like a single line on the first stamp set, I think, and then a double line on the second. They just offset each other, and basically it just makes, 2 different colors that you can make your lines with, or, as multiple colors, whatever you want to use for your ink. I'm just going to use lumberjack red, lumberjack plaid, and I'm going to use mustard seed because I'm going with a yellow and green mustard and ketchup color scheme is what I'm going with here, and I've sped this up tremendously, as you can tell. And I've just put the red line down first, and then I'm going to line this second layer up, and we're going to put our mustard down on there, and we are just going to have a mustard and ketchup striped background panel for our card. And we'll get all that inked up, and then I'll give you the big reveal of it, and you can see what we've got here. Now, I've got my hot diggity dog die set all die cut out, and I'm going to, I didn't have kind of a hot dog looking color, and I'm just going to use some inks and just kind of create, these are the buns. I'm going to create some buns that look like they're a little toasted on some areas and not on the others, and we're going to just color it up. I've got rusty hinge, and I used my mustard seed, and then I die cut my hot dog out of craft cardstock, and I'm just using rusty hinge to add some color to it and make it look more like a hot dog. And then I'm going to bring in vintage photo and darken it up just to kind of bring in a little bit more of a grilled look to it. We like our hot dogs a little bit overcooked when we make them, and so that's what I'm doing here. Just cleaning off my mat because I'm going to add some color to my mustard bottle and my ketchup bottle. I'm going to use the rusty hinge on this. I've got some, I don't know, I think this might be beeswax cardstock or saffron from Spellbinders, and I'm just laying a little ink on the side of it, and then we're going to bring in our poppy cardstock for our ketchup. And I'm going to bring in some more of that lumberjack plaid. It's not going to be dark enough. Then we'll bring in some vintage photo and add a little bit of a darker color to it, and we'll get some nice shading on it. And now we've got our ketchup bottle. Now there are tips to the ketchup and mustard bottles if you want to use them. I didn't choose to use them, but there is another layer that you could use. If you wanted like a white lid and then you wanted ketchup on your lid, you could do it that way. But I didn't choose to do it. I'm keeping it simple here. So I'm just going to get to assembling my hot diggity dog, and here are the grill marks, and I just die cut them out of black cardstock. And like I said, we like our hot dogs to be a little bit more done. And so I've really got some charred marks on my hot dog here. And I just used some washi tape to kind of keep track of them so I wouldn't lose them after I die cut them out. I'm just going to get them arranged here on my hot diggity dog, and then we'll get them glued down. And right now I'm pushing them toward the top because my bun is going to cover up a lot of that, and I want them to show. So I'm just going to push them more toward the top of the hot dog. And I've got my glue laid there on its side, and I'm just squeezing out the tiniest little dab of glue there, and then kind of rubbing it off with my fingers so I don't make a gluey mess on my hot dog. And we're just getting all these little strips laid down on there. It's a really fun set, super cute. So I'll get the rest of my grill marks laid down on there, and then we're going to start positioning our hot dog. So the smallest piece is actually the back of the bun, and then the bigger piece is the front of the bun, I believe. And we're just going to nestle it in there like that. I did some ink blending on the bottom of that bun on top there, and I just needed the blending to be on the top of it because you can't see it. And then we'll just get the bottom layer of our bun laid down on there. Now I've got ketchup and mustard, and I actually like mustard and onion on my hot dogs, but I wanted to represent both since I did both of those bottles. And I actually die cut out some of the onions, but then I decided not to include them. But the onions, you can have some diced onions because there is a little dye in there that does it. There are some other squiggly things that I think are probably like if you wanted sauerkraut on your hot dog, and I don't know, just some different options there. So I'm going to get this laid down on there, get my mustard. We're going to lay our ketchup on there. We're just going to kind of offset them a little bit so you'll see both of the colors. And then we'll get our bun laid on there. And we've got a fun, and this is kind of a big element for your card. And I'll get my bun on there. Now I'm going to put some foam on the bottom of my bun because it's going to hang off of my hot dog, and I'll glue the top part of it to the hot dog, but I want the foam for the bottom of it so when it lays on my card it'll lay nice and even. Since we're going to layer it up, I've got it on a couple layers there. So that's what we're going to do with it. I'm just kind of checking everything out. I'm going to lay it aside. We're going to get our mustard and our ketchup bottles assembled. And the tips of these look very much like, I mean, these are a great replica of those just squeeze bottles that you've probably seen, probably back in the day. I think were more popular. So I'm going to get this cap on my ketchup, and we've got our mustard and our ketchup bottles, and I think they're super fun. I like the ink blending that I added to them. And we're just going to kind of offset them like that on our card. And then I've got my boat for my hot dog. And I just took some patterned cardstock that I had that I thought looked kind of like something that you would get a hot dog in. And I'm just taking the vintage photo and just kind of darkening up the back of the boat. And we're going to just layer it on here like this. And we're going to have our little hot diggity dog in our hot dog boat. And it's going to come together really cute. So I'm going to ink blend just a little bit more, and I'm going to do it on the bottom of the pattern paper there too, just to kind of tie everything together, because I did ink blend on everything. So I'm just going to give everything a little bit of a blending, except for my cinnamon. I'll leave it stark white. But so I've got this panel, and I made it larger than what I needed, and you can see it. I didn't perfectly stencil or ink blend, but it's going to be okay because I need to cut it down because I'm going to use an A2 size card for this. So I'll just cut away what isn't perfect, and then we'll just use what we've got, and it'll be just fine. It is a handmade card. So we'll get these pieces out of the way, and I'm going to bring in a top folding card base, and we're just going to have a white frame around there. And I'm not going to pop this up. I'm keeping it fairly simple and fairly flat, and it will melt very easily. So we'll get our stenciled panel laid down on there. And I think it's cute with the red and the yellow using this, the same kind of color scheme with our ketchup and our mustard, and it just makes a nice little landing zone for all of our little elements. So there we go. I was checking my hands to see if I had a bunch of ink on them or anything. And then I'm going to just position my ketchup and my mustard like this. I'm going to kind of bring my ketchup down a little bit and we'll stagger them. But I'm just going to lay them down on the card and then we'll add our little hot dog in the boat and we'll be ready to choose one of the sentiments from the Many Franks stamp set. Now, I didn't read all of them to you. It also has, we make a great pair, you did it, Franks a lot, Franks for being a friend, and many Franks. And you're the bun for me. I don't think I got all of those said, but it is a great stamp set, very punny, and you could go a lot of different directions. I wasn't even sure. I thought I might make a birthday card with this, but with my second card, we are going to make a birthday card. So for this one, I'm just going to I'm going to use sentiment, just that frankly, you're great. And we're going to add a couple of the sentiments together on this particular card. So I'm going to glue my dog together, and I've just nestled that foam tape behind there to where it's going to pop up. And then we will get our little boat assembled. And I think it's super cute. I love the pattern on the boat because it kind of reminds me of almost like one of those picnic tablecloths. I've used this recently a couple times on my channel, I think. So getting my hot dog laid in there, we're going to need some more foam squares, and I'm just going to put some on the bottom. And then we'll get this assembled. We'll put some glue above it, and then we'll just get it attached. Now stay tuned because the next card we're going to do something that I've not done on my channel. I'm going to use some colored pencils. Now, I did some cleaning in my craft room the other day, and I had a set of colored pencils that were stored in a different place, and I needed to get them out of my way, and I laid them on top of one of my containers, and they've been staring at me for a few days, and I thought, I never use those. And so on today's video, we're going to bring in some colored pencils, and I'm going to do some coloring with colored pencils. So you'll have to let me know if you think it turned out halfway decent at all. Anyway, so I've got hot dog die cut out. The hot dog was part of the squeeze bottle die set, and I just die cut it out in kind of the mustard color there, and I laid it down on here, but it's not what I'm going to go with. I was just kind of eyeballing it, and I'm pausing, and then I went off camera, and I thought I'm going to get the scrap from where I stenciled, and I'm just going to use that white, and we're going to stamp a couple of sentiments down on here and figure out what we're going to do, and then we'll add them to our card. So I'm going with I mustard admit, basically I must admit, frankly, you're great, and I'm going to use those two sentiments together. I think they're super cute, and then they could be used for a different type of card, whatever. It doesn't have to be a birthday card or whatever. I was going to lay them together, and I thought, no, I'm going to die cut these separately. I'm going to just grab, like a sentiment straight die set and die cut those out, and we'll just have some strip sentiments here. I'm just going to use some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and ink these up. I used my anti-static powder tool, and I'm going to heat emboss them, and then we will get these added to our card. Just giving it a couple presses. This is a new stamp set. I had not used it, so I want to get it pressed nice and clean. And then I'll go off camera, find a die, and die cut these out, and we'll come back in. First of all, we've got to heat emboss them, so I'm going to get my powder. And I always like to put it on there a couple of times. I need to get some more clear embossing powder because you can see I'm just about out. So we'll get this heated up, and then we will be ready to add our sentiments to our card. So I've just got an old Stampin' Up! Heat tool that I've had for probably 35 years, and it still works great. So just giving them a quick heat, making sure I get them nice and heated up. And then I went off camera, grabbed that die, and die cut these two out, and we're going to get it laid down on there. I must admit, frankly, you're great. And I think it's a fun card. And I wanted to pick the mustard because we've got the mustard bottle on there. So for this one, I'm going to need a little strip because it's going to hang over part of the mustard and I want the other part of it to lay flat. So I just took a little scrap piece of paper, laid it behind there. I'm trimming it off and we're going to get it laid down on there. And I decided to put the Frankly You're Great on there first so I could position it over the mustard bottle, and then I'll lay the other one on there. So there we go. Such a cute summer fun set. I'm going to get the other sentiment laid down on there. I'm not going to embellish this one. We've got, you know, the stenciled background panel and then the ink blended focal points, and I think it's super cute. So there we go. Now stay with me because I've stamped and heat embossed this. Here we've got the little dog in the bun. I've got hot dog, it's your birthday. We have the balloon, the party hat, and I'm going to bring in this colored pencil set, and we're just going to start coloring. I started with the mustard, and actually, I'm doing the hot dog. I've got orange, and I'm just putting a little bit of orange back behind where the hot dog is, and then I'm going to bring in a yellow and color in the mustard, and I'll wind up turning it into ketchup because I wind up painting or coloring the squeeze bottle red, and so I'm like, I need to make ketchup on my hot dog, and I needed to anyway because the mustard looked too much like the bun, and so it was good that I did that because then I could make the ketchup on there and it kind of contrasted with the bun. So that's where we're headed. And I've just got a couple of colors of yellow. I've got like a yellow and then more of a mustardy, and I'm just going to kind of use those colors for the bun. This is just a set that I picked up. I think it was either Hobby Lobby or Joann's that I got on sale pretty inexpensively, and I haven't really colored with them, and so I thought they were, like I said, they were just staring at me and they just were begging for me to do something with. So I brought them out. Wasn't sure how this was going to go. I think this is the first time I've ever used colored pencils on my channel, but it came out all right. Now there was a eraser in there and I made a mistake. So I unwrapped the eraser and just erased my little boo-boo, and I'm kind of got a red-orange there, and then I'll bring in a red and go over it. And here's where I'm changing the mustard into ketchup, and I realized that it gives it a much better contrast. And then I've got two blues in this pencil set, and so I'm going to use the darker blue for the main part of the balloon, and then I'll bring in a lighter blue for the highlight that is on the balloon, and we'll use that. And I sped this up, but it was pretty easy coloring. And then we're going to do the blue and the red on the party hat. And then we have the coordinating dies that go with this, and we'll just get these die cut out, and we're going to build a quick little card here. And I'm just getting all the dies laid down on there. Now, I did bring in the squiggly frame die from Hero Arts, and I've got a white piece squiggly frame, and I'm having trouble with my glue bottle, so I had to get a pen and pin it. And I'm just going to lay some glue down on here, and I've got a blue Cosmic Sky panel from Spellbinders that I'm going to lay on it, and we've got a red poppy panel that's we're going to use to lay our cute little elements on. So it's just easier to line this frame up on here upside down because it's just a thin frame, and it moved on me, so I'm going to try again, and this time I'm going to hold it and allow it some time to adhere, and then we'll be able to pick it up. And I'm just going to use I think I've got another top folding card base, and I'm going to lay this on there, and then we will bring in our poppy layer, and that's going to be the landing zone for our focal point. And I like the sentiments really well. We've got hot dog, it's your birthday. I think it comes together for using a media that I don't normally work with and really haven't practiced with, and I don't have Gamsol. I've watched Gina K use that, and hers always looks like they blend beautifully, but I don't have that, and I'm not really big into like chemicals anyway, so I just use the pencils. So I'm going to bring in some I don't know, these are probably 1 or 2 millimeter dimensional squares, and I'm going to use them to just add a little bit of dimension to our red panel and lay it down on there. I have embossed the Cosmic Sky with that Posy and Polka Dot 3D embossing folder from Spellbinders, and it made a nice little detail on there. Now I'm going to get my ketchup bottle and my little balloon and then my little dog. I'm going to put the party hat on the dog, and then we've got Hot Dog, It's Your Birthday, and it's going to come together pretty quickly. So I'm just going to put the little party hat on the little dog. I think it's cute. And then we'll get our little ketchup bottle laid down and add our balloon to it. And I want the string to the balloon to kind of hang over the ketchup bottle, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. And we'll tuck our little dog in there. And then we'll get our sentiment laid down on there. Super fun. I'm just going to stagger these, and then we'll put It's Your Birthday over our balloon. Just give it a little press. Straighten it up. And then we're going to get our hot dog on there. I think this is a super fun set from Hero Arts. I've linked all of the materials in the description box so that you can check them out if you'd like. And if you shop with those links, I greatly appreciate it. It really does help my channel. It helps me. I get a small commission at no additional cost to you, and it just does help support my work. So I appreciate it. So I'm going to get this laid down on there, and then I have got that Cosmic Sky panel, but I've also got some Cosmic Sky dots from Spellbinders, and I'm going to bring 5 of those in and get them laid down on our card, and we'll have a little bit of embellishment there. I'm going to put a little triangle of 3, and then we'll put 2 there below our birthday sentiment, and I think it'll finish the card off nicely. I'm just going to tuck them in, and there we go. So we've got our Hot Dog, It's Your Birthday, and we've got I Must Admit, Frankly, You're Great, and I've taken some pictures. If you like, please hit that like button, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Here's a couple more videos for you to check out. Thanks for watching.